You are not a commissioner.
All right, Bannock County Board of Commissioners are in session, and we are in the Board of Equalization. We'll go ahead, and everyone that is going to participate in a hearing during this hour, we'll have the deputy clerk swear you in at this time.
Will you please stand and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear that any testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
So, just for your information, this is videoed, and it's available on YouTube. If you want to see yourself later, it'll be available. I bet it's not my favorite thing to have it all on video. But this is a hearing of the Board of Equalization under Idaho Law 63-501. The Board of County Commissioners is required to convene as the BOE. We're here to determine market values under Idaho Code 63-205. All real, personal, and operating property subject to property taxation must be assessed annually at market value for assessment purposes as of 12:01 a.m. of the first day of January in the year in which such property taxes are levied. Furthermore, under Idaho Code 63-502, the function of the Board of Equalization shall be confined strictly to assuring that market value for assessment purposes of property has been found by the assessor, and to the functions provided for in Chapter 6, Title 63, Idaho Code relating to exemptions from taxation. It is hereby made the duty of the Board of Equalization to enforce and compel a proper classification and assessment of all property required under the provisions of this title to be entered on the property rolls. And in so doing, the Board of Equalization shall examine the rolls and shall raise or cause to be raised, or lower or cause to be lowered, the assessment of any property which in the judgment of the board has not been properly assessed. The taxpayer shall have the burden of proof in seeking affirmative relief to establish that the determination of the assessor is erroneous, including any determination of assessed value. A preponderance of evidence shall suffice to sustain the burden of proof. We're here to discuss the market value of the property, the condition, state, or information that is relevant to the topic. This is fact and not conjecture or things that you may think. We're not here to discuss taxes, past grievances, policy, personal income, or other issues. If you do not stick to the discussion as requested, your time will be reclaimed. So the process will be, you'll be given 3 minutes. The white light comes on when it begins. The yellow light comes on with 1 minute to go. When the red light goes off, then you're through speaking. And then if there's questions from this table about what you stated, we'll answer those questions. And then the assessor's table will be given 3 minutes. If there's questions about what they state today, then we'll answer those questions. Then the board will have a discussion amongst ourselves. We may or may not make a decision today. The rules are to be kind, direct all questions or comments to the board, the three of us. If your conduct is out of line, you will be warned, and if it continues to be out of line, you will be asked to leave or escorted from the premises. So go ahead and introduce yourself now on the record, and then your 3 minutes will begin after that.
My name is Fannie Lee Lowe, and this is my cousin, Crystal McDaniel, and this is co-pastor of Cornerstone Chapel. It's Danny Harry, Reverend Danny Harry, who's also a chaplain.
Okay. Now your 3 minutes begin.
Gentlemen, would I have the ability to visibly blush for my glaring mistakes on my initially submitted form? Devastating errors given the gravity of the circumstance, expected errors given my age, 85. I'm probably the oldest Idaho-born person in this room. Thank you for the opportunity to present my appeal before the Commission. We have just celebrated July 4th, a powerful reminder of what a privilege I enjoy to stand before you. I now ask that you consider my corrected submission for exemption. I champion your meticulous scrutiny of the code in question and respectfully ask you to expand that scrutiny to embrace the spirit of the code as well. I read that spirit to be acknowledge, respect, and reward the inestimable value religious institutions contribute to the fabric of the community. I maintain that Corinth, doing business as Cornerstone Chapel, meets this criteria in every impeccable sense of that code. To my understanding, Idaho Code 63-602BE was was designed to allow exemptions based on those making valid religious contributions to this community. Without doubt, Corinth DBA Cornerstone clearly meets that criteria. To my knowledge, I'm the sole surviving member of Corinth Baptist Church and can indeed declare that as a result of that caretaking membership, my request for exemption is clear, above board, and totally devoid of subterfuge or chicanery. Corinth Baptist Church DBA Cornerstone is, though small, a vital, actively contributing part of the religious community and without doubt deserves the protection of Idaho Code 63-602BE. I sincerely hope that you will give the veracity of my appeal your earnest consideration and allow Corinth DBA Cornerstone Chapel to continue to enjoy exemption status. I currently live in San Francisco by the grace of rent control on an extremely fixed retired teacher's income, a fragile paycheck-to-paycheck budget. What would be a small sum for property tax to you would be a financial Mount Everest for me as caretaker. I'm long past re-entering the job market for extra income. I was born in Burley, grew up in Pocatello, went to Old Bonneville Elementary, Franklin Junior High School, Pocatello High School, and Idaho State University. I'm no fly-by-night entity. My roots are here. I proudly carry the heritage of my pioneering black family who enriched this community's legacy and history in the noblest fashion possible by contributing two vibrant black churches, Bethel Baptist and Corinth Baptist, and I am championing the right for Corinth, the church my father literally built, to enjoy the protection afforded by Idaho Code 63-602BE, where you, standing in my shoes, I'm confident you would do the same. I sincerely thank you for your time and attention. Corinth Baptist Church, DBA Cornerstone Chapel, Fannie Lee Lowe, caretaker.
Thank you. You did it. Okay, and I'll just ask one question.
Yes,
Who owns the building? Who owns the land?
Corinth Baptist Church, and I have the initial deed that my father bought it for $300 in 1947.
It's under their name, it's not under your
Corinth
name.
Baptist Church, no. It's under Corinth Baptist Church.
Okay, that was the thing, that was submitted to us. It said that you as the owner.
I'm 85. I made
Which
the
means
mistake.
that as we look at them, we have to evaluate that. And if you are the owner, then according to statute, the church does not get tax exemption. If the church is the owner on the title and the owner of the ground, then there's no question they get the exemption.
Corinth Baptist Church, I am the caretaker and the sole surviving member. My mother bought Corinth Baptist Church, and she was the caretaker. They willed it to me right down the line. When I filled out the form, rather than putting Corinth, I put me. My bad.
Okay, that was the only question I had to have answered. If you are not the owner, if the church owns it, then there's no question. Any comments?
Nope, that was the only question I had.
So, I'd like a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we grant the tax exempt status to the Cornerstone Church as requested.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's, we just have to, we go through over 100 tax exempt papers every year. And we read them and we have to follow the law. And I'm thankful that you come. You did a marvelous job there, but we have to follow the law. And we so thank you very much for your
I
comments.
totally respect that,
And so,
and I'm glad for it. Truly.
okay. So that will be, you will receive a notice here in the next couple of weeks that says what happens. The tax bill that you got will be rescinded, and you'll get a new notice.
Thank you, gentlemen. Oh, I have copy. I know you're not interested, but I have copies of the speech if you're interested.
Actually, it's recorded, it's on YouTube. You just become the star of the day. Okay?
I'll call my agent.
All right. Thank you very much. Taylor.
Let's read.
Boy, you got some big shoes to fill.
Here to tell you, that was quite a deal.
Please introduce yourself, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
Okay, my name is Colette Taylor. I'm a trustee for the Leroy C. Taylor Family Trust, who owns the parcel that I have come to appeal. And do you have the number and everything? Do I need to say that?
Yeah, we have it here.
Okay. It's in the Crystal Springs development, about 8 miles from McCammon. My property value went from $36,524 to $142,121 in '23, and the assessor's office reduced it by 30%, which I'm very grateful for. So the value is $99,485 now. But I don't think that goes far enough because of what's the access to the property and the amenities that aren't there. It has a county road to the private road, but it doesn't meet any kind of a county standard at all. It's very rocky. There's no water, power. It's not buildable as of now. So let's see, I wanted to read one thing here. So the parcels that have sold in that area in 2019 for $25,000, it went to the Idaho Board of State of Appeals, and they valued those parcels at $32,000 in April of 2022. And so considering a compounded annual inflation rate of 12% for 1 year, I think the current value really on my property would be $35,840. And that's what I'm here about.
Okay, questions? Your 3 minutes begin now.
Good afternoon, I'm Jason Speth. I'm a certified appraiser. Wanted to state, go over something real quick. So there's been several people call from up on the Crystal Springs area, and we're in the process of going to review that after Bailey's finished sometime maybe this fall. There are some topography issues on the people that have some on the hillside. We're aware of that. The only downfall is we have, this is Idaho again with a lot of topography, but on the West Bench, there's similar size lots that are slightly larger, and they're deeded unbuildable. None of these lots so far have anything in documentation stating that they're unbuildable. There's actually a few up on top of the mountain that says that they are buildable from the planning and zoning. We did lower the ones that called 30% overall on the first acre and for the additional acres. Hers was low, it was 142,627, lowered to 99,839. Again, we are going to relook over the area coming up, and I explained that and the others have explained it to the people that have called. I have 4 sales. I tried to go off of basically the land that is in the Schedule 4 area. I tried to stick to mainly the land. However, there are sales that showed there's some houses that do have utilities, and up in there was about 3 or 4 sales up in there. So they can build a well, septic, and they can access utilities. It might not be feasible, but it can be done. All 4 sales are right around 20 acres. The subject property is coming in quite a bit less than those, more likely because of the topography that we gave them. What was my other thing I wanted to see? I just ask that you uphold the value until we can go up in there and look at an overall mass appraisal on that area.
Okay. Thank you. Questions about what he just stated? No. Commissioners?
Tell me about, you're wanting to go back and relook at the whole area. What's
Yeah,
what's
so,
the driver for you?
say that one more time.
What's the driver for you going back other than their calls?
That's part of it, you know, I mean, until we know that there is an issue, we don't know that there's an issue. So the only downfall is we do show that the land value of that west bench, which has a way, way worse topography than this whole mountainside does, especially the people on top. I mean, they're building up there. So there's some buildability, if that's a word, on that property, or on those properties, just not, some are worse than others. But we can't do each one separately. We have to kind of do a mass, appraise them all together to try to see what topography we're gonna put on the whole mountain, if that.
And follow up on that, what west bench are you referring to in, are you relating to
Can't
this?
recall the name of the road that is off of, but
You're there, you're talking about there in the Crystal Springs area?
that's her part, their parcel, yes.
Okay, so what's the west bench?
The
that you're
west bench
talking
is a
about?
whole nother area with similar
Here
topography.
you're talking here in town?
Yes.
Okay. To me, that's apples and oranges, because as I look at her property, and I'm familiar with the area, her topography is completely different than the stuff over here. So I would tend to side with her and the next appellate a little bit, because I struggle with that topography there.
It's steep.
It is steep.
It is, and looking at it, I really don't even know how you access it, where you could build on it at that point in time. You gotta go back around through Crystal Springs and then up over the top to get there. So, but I don't know what a good value is. So is it on your list of things to look at this year to
Yes.
make that a priority?
And again, the west bench, like, it's a lot worse topography, and it's coming in more acreage and a lot more value too. So we were gonna try to do something to make them equitable, but again, they have much worse topography over there. And it's not the entire mountain either.
Well, I'll just voice my things that I'm seeing here. Since 2019, there really hasn't been any increase at all in value. We're talking 20 acres here, and they've already agreed to a substantial decrease on the other areas down there around Lava and stuff that we've talked about. There's good. You could build a house on here. You could,
Well,
you have a building right. Not, that's what I'm saying. You have the right to do that. And that starts out at 47,000 for any land that has a building right. And then you add with the acreage, which it's standoff from your neighbors, it's view, it's steep terrain, so you don't have neighbors and stuff. So I would say that with the assessor coming in at 99,485, I think that they've looked at it. Next year, like I say, for 4 years, it hasn't adjusted at all. So everybody else in Bannock County's been adjusted up, and yours hasn't. So that's where I'm at. Comments? Commissioner Huff, you gotta.
Well, I don't have a better basis than where it's at the 99. For some reason, I missed that. I was still thinking it was at 142, which I did not agree with at all, so.
That's what I said. They've talked, and it looks to me like they've been pretty good with 20 acres.
I did talk to a realtor. So it's still nowhere near 99, but
Well,
value.
given that they've made that adjustment, they're gonna make it a priority to just look at it again. I'll probably uphold it at this point in time. So, Mr. Chair, on parcel RPR 422-500-4121, I would make a motion that we uphold the value as assessed.
You have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
So if you don't agree with the decision that was just made, both you and the assessor's table have the ability to go to the state and appeal the decisions that were made here.
So,
You're gonna receive a letter here in a couple of weeks. It's gonna say exactly what happened here. And then after you receive that, you can come in and file that appeal if you'd like. That would go to the State of Idaho Board of Appeals. Otherwise, you can go to the district courts. Yes, ma'am.
what I would like to know is, will they do their assessment? Will they still do their assessment? I think I would like to see what they have to say once they looked at the whole area and this west side that they're talking about.
Yes, yes. That's the plan, is to go
And then if
forward.
they come back with a different value, then do we still have to go through all this appeal process?
You do, to change the decision we just made to go
Okay.
lower. But there's a time period for appeals, and we have a 2-week period here to look at them and stuff. So if you want to go further, then that's where the assessment come from the state last time. But that was a 21 appeal that wasn't decided till April of 22.
Right.
And so they have a longer time that they can look at things. We don't have that time. But if it come in lower, then next year at this time, when you got your assessment, it would be lowered according to what they do with everybody in that same area.
Okay, so am I assured that they're going to take a look at it, or is that still?
They
Yeah.
just said it right here on the record
Okay, I just
and
want
on
to make
YouTube.
sure. Okay,
So it's going to happen.
thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hi, Jason.
Argue?
You want to argue for me?
No, go ahead.
We've talked to Lane.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Introduce yourself, and then your 3 minutes begin.
My name is Blake Brown. I am the trustee of the Brown Family Trust, owner of the parcel 4125, ending in 4125. Given that the county has instituted a land schedule project to ensure fairness and accuracy, my property value has increased similar to Ms. Taylor's by 395% this year. Standardized appraisal methods don't apply to atypical parcels without modifying factors taken into consideration. The parcels of the mountaintop area that we're talking about on the mountaintop area of an unnamed spur road off of the Upper Crystal Springs Dirt Road do not have proximate access to electricity, water, or year-round access and have very steep topography. Mine, of about a 30% grade, involving approximately 85% of my land. The two similar parcels that were sold in 2019, we've kind of already discussed. They sold for 25. The Board of Appeals valued them at 32. And based upon that, I came to I think the same number actually as Colette Taylor at 35,840. The State Board of Appeals, by the way, said that there were no comparisons, and so the only thing they could do was time-adjusted value based upon the $25,000 purchase price in 2019, if that makes sense. I've checked into a well. The one owner that lives at the top of the road that ascends, he dug a well over a decade ago. It cost him $48,000. It goes 900 feet. I've been in touch with Rocky Mountain Power. They said they would run the first half mile for $43,000, and it would require multiple easements to cross other people's properties in order to do that by a direct line of flight. Off-grid solar and battery systems, anywhere from $20,000 to $35,000 could also do that. So I believe this should be valued significantly lower than similar sized properties in the valley due to the factors we've just discussed. and that the value should be adjusted similar to the 2022 Idaho appeal from the Board of Appeals. Thank you.
Okay. Questions?
Questions?
Okay, your 3 minutes, you know.
Oh, can I add one thing? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I think if you look at my parcel is actually the steepest of all of them.
Okay, thank you.
Just kind of wanted to add to the previous parcel with the same issue. They all have steep topography issues. So whose is worse or who has a little more, I really don't, I can't tell until we get up there and see. But again, we'll probably have to do as a mass instead of individual parcels, just due to all of them having topography issues. One thing I wanted to add that I didn't mention, and he kind of touched on it a little bit, is that we did do a land schedule project, and that none of those had an actual land schedule until this past fall and early spring. So there was quite a few years that they were valued a lot less. The one thing I did want to say too is on most of the calls, there were some people saying that they saw some values at around 35,000. There are a certain number of parcels that are contiguous up there, and on the contiguous we value them a little less than one parcel with the first acre. So there are some up there that are worth 35,000, and I believe that that's where a lot of the folks are getting that number from, is from the contiguous. Again, I pretty much use the same sales comps as for Colette, and then, you know, we did lower him 30% on the topography, pretty much for everybody, until we're able to get out there and take a look. Again, I just ask that you uphold the value, and until we have a chance to get up there and you know, be fair and equitable with everyone.
Thank you. Comments about what he just stated?
I saw the 35,000 on a 2023, a copy of a 2023 appraiser assessment. I believe it was a second property, but you told me that we were $46,000 for the first acre, $5,059 per acre thereafter, and that adds up to my $142,627, I think it is. But I just don't see that as applying. If it applies in the valley where you've got all your utilities stubbed into your property and so forth.
Okay, I'm not going to allow you to keep going because
How
you're
does that
not
apply up there?
not
I'm
asking
done.
the question.
Yeah, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Commissioners?
Well, we can't make a different decision than what we just did with the previous one. So what's your time frame for doing your evaluation?
We'll have to get with Anita and Josh to get that time frame. I'm hoping.
Probably, I mean, we start doing revals in August, so between August and next March.
Yeah, it'll be for
It's not-
2023. Yeah, before the snow falls.
But anyway, our reval would be done during that time frame.
Okay,
Yes.
because my thought process was, could they appeal and could you have it done by the time the state tax appeal session comes?
We could have looked at it by then, yes, but we won't have our, because, well, and again, possibility, because usually they don't start meeting till September, October. So we could at least get up there and look at it, and we could make a recommendation to the BTA at that time if we feel there is one. I mean, and that would be the best time to get up in there anyway, because unfortunately after that it starts snowing and we can't get
Right.
up in there.
His percentage didn't equal out. I mean, it was 99,485 and his is 99,839. I just go with the same value.
And that's due to maybe the acreage difference.
It's slightly different acreage difference.
just a tiny bit.
I think hers was 20.0, mine's 20.1.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm inclined to do, is leave it as it is. Strongly ask that you guys get that done by October so that when they go to the Board of the tax appeals, that they can do that and we can reach a decision.
I don't know if the whole analyzing could be done by then, but we definitely could go up and take a look at that property and
Okay.
Well, the state tax bill could be in 24 or 25. I mean, by the time they get to it.
Okay, well, with that, we'll move forward like that. So, Mr. Chair, on parcel RPR 4225004125, I make a motion that we uphold the adjusted evaluation from the assessor.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So, you heard my speech.
Okay.
You'll get a letter
I'll
in a
wait for
couple
your
of
letter.
weeks. I can tell you what was decided, and then
Did you
you'll-
say I have 2 weeks to appeal to the state of Idaho?
No, that's when you'll get the letters in a couple of weeks. And then I'm not sure what the actual date when you,
I'll look on the
it'll say that on,
30 days from today? Oh, after I receive the letter,
But
okay.
it'll come with instructions.
Okay, thank you.
all right, thank you. Chris? Chris?
Hear me?
Yep. Did you have one, ma'am?
No, I have a parcel up there with them, but unfortunately, under very short time suspense and my workload, I didn't have time to get the appeal in.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
Start.
Yep, introduce yourself and then your
Yeah.
time will begin.
My name is Chris Pine. I own the parcel over there at 1137 East Whitman. Got a new assessed value here, which kind of upset me, so I thought I'd come and talk a little bit. I tried to talk to an appraiser, and I don't know if they were just so busy, I didn't even get to talk to the appraiser. They said this fell out the form. So I did. It looks to me, from what other properties I have over in that general area, they went ahead and indexed all the lot values. So this one went up 125%. As I look around, I don't see the comparables, and that's what I was trying to find out. There's a lot of lots that are bigger than this that are selling, or listed, I should say, about 60 grand. I just don't see the 74. You know, I know you said we can't talk about taxes, but my brother was gonna come back. He wanted to come in and build and come back to Pocatello. He looked at the property taxes and he said, I'll stay in Idaho Falls. But the one big thing here, I don't know if they saw, because I know they don't get to look at each property here. This lot is a flag lot. It's only, I think, what, 5,300 square feet. It was chopped up from years ago, and that's significantly smaller. And I know darn well that lot value wouldn't be the same as other typical lots in that area. So that's about what I have to say.
Okay, questions? Your 3 minutes begin now.
Okay, so as far as the land goes, anything under and half an acre is, we value the same. Sales aren't showing that 0.4, 0.2, 0.1 are selling any more or any less. So we have to draw the line somewhere, and that's based on the sales and what the numbers show for that size lot. We have 3 comparable sales that are slightly smaller. I have one that's 0.10, one that's 0.08, and one that's 0.12. Both of them, or all 3 of those, are coming in much higher. Hit the subject just for the land itself is $13.68 a square foot. Comparable one is $16.41 per square foot. Comparable 2 is $20.52 per square foot. And the last one is $14.10. It's closer to the subject, but the other 2 are much higher. They're all within a 2-block radius of his house. All we would do is we take the sale and 20% off for the land, and that gives us the allocated sale. And based on that, he's showing low. Based on the comparables, I just ask that you uphold the value.
Okay.
And we state that.
Questions about what he just stated?
Well, that's, yes, I do have. I'm just curious, he said within a 2 or 3 block area. I'm not aware of any building lots over there unless he did an adjusted sale. Did he look at a sale of a house and the property and adjust from there? Okay. I don't agree with that.
Okay. Commissioners?
I don't see enough evidence to change the assessed value.
Motion?
Let me look one more thing real quick.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, on parcel RPPOC 084800, make a motion that we uphold the assessed value.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We upheld their value.
Yep.
Like I said, you'll get a letter in a couple of weeks.
And I'll see you in Boise.
Well, you won't see us. Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
You bet. All right, we are at recess till 4 o'clock.